Hey guys, what is up? I've seen a lot of guys doing tier lists, so I figured I was going to give a shot at it. We're going to go ahead and just kind of sort through all the NFL teams and throw them where I believe they should go, obviously with a little bit of explanation. So we got our four categories here: Super Bowl potential. These are just our top tier teams. We got playoffs, that's wild card spot or better, or kind of on the fringe. Mid, all the guys that are mostly in like a weird rebuilding stage or have probably around 7-ish win teams. And then awful, there's our first example: Cleveland Browns. They're terrible. A couple easy ones here: Cardinals. They're mid. Haven't shown a whole lot this year, but I don't think they're included in the absolute bottom tier of teams. Then we got the Ravens. Obviously their Super Bowl potential. They got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, a solid defense. They're not going anywhere. Bears with Caleb Williams, they have been good. I just feel like it's a little bit inconsistent thus far. So I would like to see a little bit more from them before they can get elevated to the playoff tier. Also, their division is really tough, so I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge for them. Packers, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that's a pretty easy one. I think they're going to make the playoffs along with guys like the Lions. And where is their other division partner? There we go. There's the Vikings right in the middle. They're not awful. That's not what I meant to do. I think all of these teams are playoff teams, potentially up to the Super Bowl level. Unfortunately for like the Lions, they had the injury with Hutchinson, so I'm not really comfortable putting them up there right now. Vikings, a little bit kind of sliding right now, so I would like to see them recover with a couple wins. And the Packers, they've just been pretty solid. They've dealt with some injuries, but they've been able to bounce back pretty well. Cowboys, they are mid. I don't know. They just, for the amount of talent they have on the roster, they're not playing as well as they should be. And I think it's actually almost a long shot for them at this point to be a playoff team or at least good in the playoffs at all. Falcons, especially after the injuries with the Buccaneers, I think they have a very high chance of winning the NFC South, which would give them a playoff spot. So just kind of, that's about that there. Bills, I think they're going to make the playoffs as well. It's Josh Allen. He now has Amari Cooper to throw to. So they have a solid roster, solid defense. I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, at least not this year. They just don't quite have it. But we'll see. Panthers, terrible. Happy the Browns have someone down there to join them. Andy Dalton unfortunately got in that car accident, and even when they did have him, weren't too good. Now they're going to be playing Bryce Young, at least until Andy is healthy again. So we'll see how that goes. Bengals, I think they're a playoff team. Obviously they start the year rough, just like they always do, but I still think they deserve to be up there in the category. Joe Burrow, still a good quarterback. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, still good receivers. And they've got a little bit of a weird duo at running back, or maybe trio, that's kind of been doing good enough as far as I'm concerned. Broncos, they are mid. Sean Payton, Bo Nix, I mean, it's just been kind of overall unimpressive. They've had a couple nice wins, but outside of that, nothing that special. There may, in the end, be more teams in the playoff category than could make the playoffs, but this is more like, I think they have a chance if things align correctly to make the playoffs. It's not necessarily a guarantee that they will all make the playoffs. The Colts. Now, this one's pretty interesting. I'm going to put them in mid because I think they're a mid team. They're not awful. They're not the Browns or Panthers tier, but they're really not that good. They looked okay when Joe Flacco was playing quarterback, but with AR, it just wasn't happening. So it is what it is. We're going to skip around a little bit. Saints, they're mid, dealt with some injuries, and outside of those first 2 weeks, they've been pretty bad. So, mid team. Giants, kind of again back and forth between mid, awful. We're going to go with mid just because they have done okay, and they did beat the Browns, I believe. So, I guess that's where they're going to go. Jets, also, they have been mid. I think the trade with Davante Adams could boost them into playoff contention, but until I see more out of that duo between Rodgers and Adams, I'm not going to put him there yet. Yeah, that's about where that's gonna go. Patriots, they've been pretty bad. It's been rough. Drake May, I believe, has he did okay in 1 week and then just kind of touch and go. Jacoby Brissett really never got anything going, so we're gonna go put them in awful for now. Let's see here. Dolphins. They just got Tua back, but they've been. I think by the end of the year, they're going to be considered a mid team, if not in the playoffs. If Tua can really make a run, but with their current record and just kind of the way things are going for them this year, I think mid is probably the safest option for them. Buccaneers. About a week ago, they would have been playoffs, if not even Super Bowl potential. But for now, I'm going to have to put them in mid because they just lost their top two receivers. Godwin is out for the year, I believe, after having a surgery. And they said Evans was out for maybe he's week to week or a couple weeks, something like that. So you can't do playoff things when you are that injured. Maybe Baker can pull something out. I just don't know. The Chiefs, they're in the playoff. They're a playoff team. They'll probably make it pretty far in the playoffs, if not to the Super Bowl. But I think in terms of the talent on their roster, it's just, for me, they're a playoff team and not more than that. They've barely made it to be where they are right now in terms of their record. They have a good record, but I don't think they really deserve to have as good of a record as they do. I think they've gotten very lucky. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Flame me in the comments if you'd like. But Mahomes has not played well. They've lost Pacheco. They lost, Rashee Rice. So just kind of I think potentially a down season for them. Rams, they're a mid team. Stafford hasn't played super great. Obviously, he's a veteran, but still really hasn't played that great. Cooper Kupp and Nacua both out for a little while, so they didn't really have a whole lot of offensive production. They do have Kyron Williams though, so I think they're closer to maybe a top end mid team. I don't know. I'm not really organizing the categories like that. It's just kind of they go in the category. It's not really ordered any particular way, but we're gonna leave it like that. Jags mid, Chargers mid, Raiders pretty bad. Titans bad. Washington playoffs. I've been really impressed with what Washington and Jaden Daniels have been able to do. As much as I think the organization was kind of doomed for failure a couple years ago, with Jaden Daniels in there, McLaurin looking like he's actually a good receiver, a solid duo at running back. Like I think Washington's really turned things around, and they look like a solid team. So they're a playoff team in my opinion. For the Raiders and Titans, obviously things have just not gone well. It's been rough. Panthers, Chargers, they're just a mid team. That's kind of where they've been for the past couple of years. Feel really bad for Justin Herbert just because he doesn't have enough weapons to really show that he is a good quarterback, which I believe he is. Obviously lost Keenan Allen, lost Mike Williams, so it's tough to be playing when your best receivers like Ladd McConkey and I don't even know who else they have. Maybe Joshua Palmer, Quentin Johnson, something like that. It's not a good offense in terms of talent around him. Next up, I guess we got the Steelers. I think they're, if I was organizing this by tier, I'd say they're top of mid. I think they played good when Justin Fields was starting, and they played well last week when Russ started. I would say they could even be a bottom tier playoff team, but to see three teams come out of the AFC North and make the playoffs, I think is pretty slim chances. So I'm going to keep them in mid just because I think their chances to actually make it to the playoffs are slim compared to the other guys. But they are a solid unit. Let's see. Got the Seahawks. Seahawks really don't know what I think about them. I think they are a playoff team, potentially. Let's see, playoff team, but I think DK Metcalf's a little bit injured right now. They've played pretty solid. Geno Smith has done well. Maybe some minor issues, but nothing super crazy. I think they're a bottom tier playoff team, probably a wild card spot. Texans are a playoff team. if not even higher than that. But I think they're definitely a solid playoff team. Stroud has played, as good as he needs to. They have a insane receiving core. Joe Mixon has really started to show out again, and their defense is pretty good. So I think this is where they belong, and I think they have a chance to make a solid run in the playoffs. Eagles. Got one of my friends who's an Eagles fan. I think after they came back from injuries, they played the Browns, so that really doesn't mean much. And I didn't really follow what they did last week, so I have no idea. I think they're probably a top-tier mid or potentially playoff team. But I just don't like them because it seems like they keep getting really lucky for some reason. They beat my Saints, which I don't like. So, yeah, we're going to leave them there. Now, the 49ers have been a major question mark for me. They lost Ayuk. They don't have CMC. They've got Brock Purdy, who really is looking like, not super great without all his top-tier stars, which isn't super surprising because, any quarterback who loses 3 of his top weapons is not going to look as good as he did when he had all of them. George Kittle and stuff looks really good. They've got Jordan Mason. So I think they're still a solid team. So, maybe bottom tier playoffs, top tier mid. It's just really difficult to, say where I think they would actually go just because they have so many injuries. So it's a bit of a question mark for me. With the Ravens, I'm leaving them up there as the top tier on their own. I think these guys in the playoff category are going to have to sort it out, especially on the NFC. I think somebody's going to make it out of the NFC North. Somebody is. Vikings, Lions, Packers. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be one of them that's going to get to at least the NFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl. I don't really see it being the Falcons. I don't really see it being the Seahawks or 49ers, at least this year. And Washington, I think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to make it that far because rookie quarterbacks rarely make it that far in the playoffs. So Ravens are going to be up there. I think they will make the Super Bowl with kind of the way things are going. The Texans, I think, Texans and Chiefs are both up there. Bills obviously up there, but I think the Ravens at this point have the best chance. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for now. If you enjoyed the video, you got any comments, let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure that I said something that'll be controversial, so go ahead and let me know about it. And I will respond to all of your comments. If you have any questions, please let me know as well. This is my first long-form video since hitting 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate you all for that. And a video will be coming out for that in the near future. It's just going to take a little bit more work, and I wanted to get some type of content out. So if you enjoyed, again, let me know, and I will see you in the next one.